They are important because without them the expert advisor will not work. But beside these functions, we can also make our own functions, and that's what we are going to do in this video. Let me tell you some important things of a function, and I am listing right now. The first thing of the function is each function has a name. For example, this function has the name and it's start. This function dinit, and this function init. So every function has a name. The second thing, each function has a return type. Return type is something that upon executing the piece of code written within it, what it is going to return us back. So the return type is written before the name of the function right here, and after we complete our function, we specify some value or something which the function is returning, like that. The third thing is the body of the function. The body of the function consists of the piece of code which we write between the starting and the ending curly bracket, and the function body starts from the curly bracket right here, and it ends right here. So this is the body of the function, this is the return type of the function, and this is the name of the function. Now let's create a user defined function, and then we will be using it. For example, let me tell you before I create the function that there can be more than one different kinds of return types of a function. In the above cases, we have only seen only one return type, that is integer, but we can have more than one return types, and the different return types are int, double, boolean. A function can return a true or a false value, string, and void. Void means that the function returns nothing. Okay, so the function we are going to create returns nothing, but it only displays a message. So let's write void. Void means that the function will not return anything. Let's call a function show us, and put the brackets beside the function, and then two curly brackets which will in them we will write the code of what we want this function to do. As we only want this function to show us something, so let's call alert function and write something in it. Let's say the function show us was called. Now that we have written this function right here, whenever we'll call this function, it will be executed, and this code will be executed, and it will alert us that this function was called. As we know that these functions are already called. Init function is called when the expert is attached to the chart, and the init function is called when expert is removed from the chart, and the start function is executed whenever a new tick arrives. But when this function will be executed? So right now I'm going to tell you about it. This function can be used within these functions, and it can be used like this: show us the brackets and the and the semicolon, and whenever this function will be called, it will start executing the code written in it, and whenever it will come across this thing, it will say that this function should be now executed. It will go to that function, it will find that function, and will go to that function, and it will find that function right here, and then it will execute the code inside, written inside it. And when this code will be executed, it will return back to here, and it will start executing the code written below it, like this. Okay, so the beauty of user-defined functions is that if we wanted to call a function that will open a trade, we will just write a user-defined function open by trade, and we will write something in it, and whenever and we will write that code that will open the buy trade for us in that very function, and whenever we will call this function, it will open a trade for us. Well, we'll see this later, but let's now execute this code and let's see what happens. Compile it. It shows us that there were no errors. Let's go and attach the expert to the chart. Navigator, expert advisors, and my expert attached to the chart. Click OK, and here it says the function show us was called. If we don't call this function from any function at all and compile the code, it will say no errors, but it will give us one warning, and that warning, it says that function show us is not referenced, and it will be removed from the exp file. That means that this function is created inside our